Howdy, guys. You know that feeling when someone plays the victim a little too hard and then the screenshots drop? Yeah, that's what we're dealing with today. Because the Marvel Rivals community just witnessed one of the cleanest, most satisfying self destructions I've seen in a while. And the funniest part is nobody forced it. These people did it to themselves. This whole thing started as a simple tournament drama. Nothing crazy. Just another online event, some competitive tension, and a few egos rubbing against each other. But somehow it spiraled into Discord leaks, Google Docs, sponsors sprinting away like they heard a fire alarm, and multiple creators speedrunning the How to Lose All Credibility 101 course. So let's rewind, because if you only saw clips on Twitter, you missed how insane this actually is. There was a Marvel Rivals tournament with a $40,000 prize pool. A pro player named Kingsman was competing, and during the event, he did something absolutely unforgivable in modern streamer culture. He took the tournament seriously. I know, disgusting behavior, jail immediately. Kingsman pointed out that some teammates were playing characters they were objectively terrible at. 0 kills, 0 assists, not having a bad game. We're talking spectator mode levels of useless. And he said, respectfully, maybe we should switch things up if we actually want to win. That's it. That's the crime. But somehow, this got reframed as toxic behavior. Not harassment, not slurs, not screaming, just asking teammates to lock in during a competitive event. And next thing you know, Kingsman is kicked from the tournament entirely. At first, people shrugged. Tournament organizers said it was a zero tolerance policy. Miscommunication. Vibes were off, the usual PR salad, and if that's where it ended, nobody would care. But then Kingsman dropped the nuke. Instead of doing a sad apology stream or tweeting, I'm disappointed but moving on, he did the one thing toxic people never expect. He brought receipts. A full Google document, Discord screenshots, private messages, timelines, names, context, everything. And once people actually read it, the story completely flipped because suddenly it wasn't about toxicity, it was about coordination. There were messages, allegedly, from leadership inside the Marvel Rivals creator group telling people to clip Kingsman anonymously, download anything that could justify kicking him, and reassuring others that he's replaceable, which is wild because Kingsman was literally the best player on the team. 18 kills, 2 deaths, carrying harder than a UPS truck, but apparently being good at the game isn't as important as being quiet. And here's where it gets nasty. Publicly, the people involved were posting about growth, accountability, and learning experiences. Privately, they were doing the exact opposite, pressuring people to delete videos, framing self-defense as harassment, and pulling the oldest manipulation tactic in the book, weaponizing mental health. Now, let me be very clear here because this matters. Mental health struggles are real. Anxiety is real. Panic attacks are real. Nobody's denying that. But when you bring up mental health only when someone exposes your bad behavior while simultaneously attacking them behind the scenes, that's not vulnerability. That's strategy. That's not, I'm overwhelmed. That's, please stop talking before people see what I did. And the internet saw through it immediately because once the document dropped, sponsors didn't hesitate. One company cut ties almost instantly. Another organization released a statement saying they don't support behavior that targets or disrespects other creators. And when brands move that fast, it's not because they're scared of drama, it's because they know the evidence is indefensible. This wasn't cancel culture, this was corporate self-preservation. And the funniest part, the apologies came after the sponsorships disappeared, not before, which is always a great sign. Nothing says genuine reflection, like suddenly finding morals when the money stops. One of the main figures involved even posted a dramatic statement about taking time off the internet to work on herself, which sounded very mature, until people noticed she was still online deleting old tweets. Tweets that magically survived for years but somehow needed to vanish the moment public opinion flipped. Screenshots are undefeated. The Streisand effect is eternal. If you delete it now, congratulations, you just confirmed it mattered. Meanwhile, the tournament organizer tried to do the fastest backpedal I've ever seen. At first, he claimed the decision to remove Kingsman was entirely his, completely independent, zero influence from anyone else, strong stance, confident, chest out. Then a clip surfaced of him admitting he consulted one of the same people accused of coordinating the removal before making the decision. So, Which is it, bro? Independent judgment or group approval? Because both can't be true. And the internet has a very good memory. To his credit, and I mean the bar is in hell, he eventually apologized and admitted the decision was rushed and based on bad information. That alone puts him miles ahead of the rest, who are still stuck in the "I'm sorry, but also you deserved it" phase of accountability. But even then, people are asking the obvious question: are you sorry because you were wrong or because the timeline turned against you? And that's the theme of this entire situation. Nobody involved looks sorry they did it. They look sorry they got exposed. What really makes this situation nasty is how predictable everyone became the moment the receipts dropped. Every single person involved hit the same PR checklist like they were sharing notes in a group chat. First comes the soft language. I want to acknowledge, yeah, I'm learning. I didn't intend harm. Translation. I see the screenshots too, please relax. Then comes the selective accountability. Nobody ever apologizes for what they actually did. They apologize for how it was perceived, which is hilarious because the perception is based on their own messages in their own words with timestamps attached. You don't get misinterpreted when your plan is typed out in Discord like a grocery list. And my favorite part? The victim pivot. Suddenly, the same people coordinating someone's removal are now overwhelmed, anxious, and unable to handle the backlash, which is wild because they handled coordinating a takedown just fine. The stress only kicked in once the public found out. That's not being targeted, that's being caught. And this is where the Marvel Rivals community actually did something right for once. Instead of immediately picking sides based on vibes, people read the document, they watched the clips, they compared statements. And once they did that, the narrative collapsed instantly. Because here's the thing: Kingsman didn't rage, didn't threaten, didn't harass. He played the game better than everyone else and expected his teammates to try. If that's toxicity, then competitive gaming might not be the career path for you. This wasn't about safety, it was about control. And once that became obvious, the downfall was automatic. Sponsors dipped, statements changed, people went silent, and the same creators who loved public accountability suddenly discovered the beauty of logging off. Funny how that works. The lesson here is simple. If your entire defense relies on nobody seeing the evidence, you are never in the right. And when your downfall feels satisfying, it's usually because people didn't lose anything. Like they just lost the power they were misusing. And yeah, that's why nobody's really defending them anymore. At the end of the day, this wasn't like cancel culture. Nobody got taken down for nothing. People just read the receipts, connected the dots, and stopped pretending. If your whole career falls apart the moment screenshots come out, the screenshots weren't the problem. You were. That's it for this one. Let me know what you think, and yeah, who should we talk about next?